Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to World Gothic Models, where different is beautiful at all times. I am your host, Bronze Raven, and today's indulgence into the beautiful world of Goth has been written by the great Esmira Hammett. We shall be discussing the originals, the OGs, or some call them traditional Goths. Trad Goth is short for traditional Goth, and that bears the question, who are the traditional Goths? Only Goths themselves can understand this classification. Representatives of other societies barely distinguish them from other fans of everything black and creepy. Goths often encounter stereotypical perceptions. Only better understanding will help to overcome the problem and increase awareness of who Goths really are. The ancestors of this movement are traditional Goths. They mostly bypass such music genres as EBM. Trad Goths are peculiar old schoolers. They are the first of their kind and have already inspired more than one generation. They began to appear in the 1980s, and the music of that decade made its own contribution. They still have voluminous black hair in contrast with pale skin, striking-looking people back in the 80s, as many were those who joined this movement. Their image was certainly inspired by punks. Now as for the fashion of traditional Goths, the leather, the chains, the fishnet, the skull and bats. Traditional Goths and traditional black. An important component of their appearance are fishnets, especially for women who like to wear shorts, dresses, and skirts. Men often wear a net on their wrists as decorative gloves. Simple chains are actively used by traditional Goths, both men and women. Goth women liner with a wider application than how it is usually done with typical makeup. They can barely go out without black lipstick, and if the person manages to acquire a reddish tint from the sun, then this is smoothed out with almost white tonal cream. And we must not forget about shoes with huge platform soles. The higher, the better. Everything began with the music. Since traditional Goths were inspired by music, it is necessary to note which bands and subgenres make up their playlists. These types of Goths will undoubtedly be able to quote the songs of the British Gothic rock band Bauhaus. A known favorite are the Sisters of Mercy. They listen tirelessly to Joy Division. The band is essentially not Gothic, but post-punk is close to traditional Goths in its spirit. And let's make this absolutely clear, Goths also like to have fun. Society often describes Goths as sensitive individuals with antisocial tendencies. However, this is not always true. They show interest in supernatural and dark aesthetics. Gothic festivals unite Goths from all over the world. Since they occur only on certain dates, for every day you have to come up with something different. They hang out at goth clubs, concerts, goth clothing shops, and record stores that cater to the subculture. They often hang out with groups in parks and various places outdoors as well. And when it comes to philosophy, always strive for more. Seek beauty even in the world in which it does not exist. Always look at all aspects of life without turning a blind eye to them. Trying to change every gray day, introducing emotions and feelings through music, clothing, style, makeup, and other sources. To melt all your emotions, both positive and negative, pain, despair, into life energy. Feel fine with societal deviations, gloomy mood, irony, strange views on life, and take strength from all of this. Goths have the so-called Gothic worldview, or, in other words, life philosophy, combining two main elements: absolute individualism and unusual romance. And this is their philosophy with which they confidently step in dark and so alluring apparel. And this concludes today's indulgence into the beautiful world of Goth. But don't you worry, there's plenty more where that came from, so stay tuned here at World Gothic Models, where different is beautiful at all times.